This is the Matrix DVD series with with the three Matrix movies, the Matrix Experience, and the Animatrix. So that was one of the first DVD set or Blu-ray sets that I got. I usually tend to watch the Matrix movies about once a year, and this is the DVD set of Star Wars. Now, I prefer not to give George Lucas money more than once a decade. I've lost track of how many different times I've bought these on VHS. It must have been about 4 or 5 by the end. So it'll be a while before I actually get the Blu-ray. And Dark City, which actually shouldn't be separating Star Wars, but it is right now. Kiefer Sutherland, pre-Jack Bauer days. Very strange movie, but still, I think, well worth watching. Then we have the Star Wars movies. This is by far the weakest Star Wars movie. In fact, the only reason I actually have this in my collection is for completion purposes, because this is one that I just grind my teeth watching. I know a lot of other people do. Actually, we'll do these in order. Attack of the Clones. I was kind of indifferent towards this one. And then Revenge of the Sith, which was my favorite by far out of the 3 prequels, or 3 newer movies, depending on how you want to look at it. Of course, more classic Arnold. I actually got this, I think it was last Christmas. I just haven't had a chance to watch it on DVD yet, but I've had this on, or I should say on Blu-ray, but I had this on VHS. I've seen this movie many times over the years. Kingdom of Heaven. I actually got this free with my first Blu-ray player back when I bought it in 2008. Solaris. This movie is kind of like a 2-hour acid trip. The only Pirates of the Caribbean movie I own, actually, this one was also a gift. I actually haven't watched any of those yet. At some point I might give this a whirl and just see if, I don't know, I like it. And the first Transformers movie, didn't really buy anything after that. Just, I think with some movies, the commercial aspect, it didn't used to be like this, but when I watch movies now, I think the over-commercialization of some just kind of turns me off to seeing them before they go in the theater, which is why I haven't actually watched anything past this. Unbreakable, great sort of comic book movie from about 10 years ago with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Underworld, which obviously I bought used at one point. An enjoyable movie, but I think this is one of those that for a lot of people when they finally saw it in the theater is a little bit of a disappointment, but it's still a wonderful movie to watch. Great movie to watch, I should say. Van Helsing, Kate Beckinsale again, more just, all out fantasy action. Knight's Tale, also obviously at some point. Actually, I got this used from an old DVD rental shop that has closed down a long time ago. Knight's Tale, late Heath Ledger. King Kong, a lot of people have had mixed reviews on this. I actually love this movie. And it's, if you've ever seen the original King Kong, yes, they do extend certain parts past what it was in the original movie, but the effects and everything are really quite impressive in that one. Avatar. I guess really the only what we would call classic from the recent years, James Cameron. It is a good movie. Now, if I would call it what a lot of people do, the best movie ever made, effects-wise, it's by far, I'd say, the best that's been made so far, but I think the story itself is a little predictable, anti-capitalist type of story, but still I love watching this, and if I ever do happen to get a 3D TV, which is iffy because that's not really at the top of my list of things to get at the moment, I'll be watching that again. The original release of Total Recall, Arnold. They actually shot some scenes for the remake of this movie, actually in my hometown of St. Thomas. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. I don't think this movie needed to be redone, honestly. There was nothing wrong with the original. And I don't know if I'm actually going to be watching it because I think in some cases remakes are ridiculous. It's just more or less for making money. Dead Space, this is the prequel to the video game, or I should say the first Dead Space video game. 13th Floor, late 20th century or 1990 kind of futuristic virtual reality movie. Which actually, there seem to be a few of those that year. It came out same year as the first Matrix. And this, I actually need to get a new version of this. This is a widescreen, but Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is actually one of the few remakes that I actually really enjoyed. Now, it's not as... I don't enjoy it as much as the original British movie, which I actually don't have on DVD, unfortunately, but I do plan on getting it at some point. But it is still a decent remake, and this is one that I don't mind watching over and over again. So there we go. Mission to Mars. This has actually been hanging around for more than a decade. Actually, it's been probably about a decade since I've actually watched that one. Minority Report. Tom Cruise. Enjoyable movie, but I think where a lot of these futuristic movies fall short is the fact that the plot often tends to be the same. Where you'll have someone working in a corrupt system and the whole movie is them turning against the system, or the system turns against them for some misunderstanding or something, and the whole second half of the movie is them trying to escape the system. Similar idea with iRobot. Like, great movies if you're just looking to enjoy something, just, you know, as long as you're not looking for any overly original plot lines. This is the only movie that I've seen in the last little while that actually really impressed me, Inception. Kind of a complex movie, but still a great one nonetheless. More Arnold. Arnold gets cloned, and yeah. Sky Captain, The World of Tomorrow. Watched this once many years ago. It's okay, still a little mediocre. Like I said, a lot of these DVDs, they've been hanging around. I may have watched them once, and there's a lot of DVDs that I've gotten rid of over the years. Especially, you know, these one-time wonder things. Usually if I plan on watching it again, I'll keep it in my collection, which well, pretty much anything that's in my collection now, I do intend on watching again, which is why they're still here. Okay, so next I got dog hair all over here. Evolution. A lot of people think this movie is terrible. I actually really enjoy this movie, just on a fun level. But I've always been amazed that David Duchovny took a year off the X-Files to make a movie about aliens. Okay, and right here I call it's the end of the world and everyone's going to die section. Armageddon. 2012. Deep Impact. Knowing, which actually a lot of people didn't watch, but it was actually, I found that to be a really good movie. Day After Tomorrow. Yes, very formulaic. I know a lot of people hate this movie, but I don't know, it's just sometimes it's nice just to watch everything is getting destroyed action flick. Independence Day, which a lot of people also hate, but I don't know, I've always enjoyed that movie. And then Predator 1 and 2, more Arnold. No Arnold, but we have Danny Glover. So that's this shelf, and my next video I'll be going on to the next shelf, whichever one I decide to do next, which will be horror or something. Like I said, this DVD series is going to be going on for a while, so I hope you tune in. And also included in this, because I've had a lot of people ask for it, at some point over the next month while I'm uploading the overview series, I'm going to do a complete overview of everything that's in my Doctor Who collection. I'm also going to do my TV sets on DVD, even though I don't buy that many of them anymore, but kind of just a refresher as to what's in there. So as usual, thank you everyone for watching, and have yourselves a great day.